Hey, y'all. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late, but I'm here. Let me go back to the comments. Hold on just a minute. We are going to, we're going to do a video breakdown. We're going to go back to the misinformation cronies, part 5.3. We got to 5.2, and then there was so much that started happening that we kind of started going all over the place. So we're going to go back a step, but give me a minute. Let me welcome everybody in, and we'll get going. You guys all beat me here once again. How's everybody doing on this Saturday morning? Let me go up here and tell everybody hi. Hey, Jennifer, Daphne, Elle, Hope, Welsh, Mocus. Let me see. Cool Gamer, Andy, Nunya. How's everybody today? Hope you guys are all doing good. Once again, this falls under the fair use content. I did pre-break like this up, so we have built-in pauses, but if you guys see something, like just comment and I will go back to it if you want me to go back, because I'm gonna react with you guys to this one. This is taking us back to August 10th is when this video was done. It is from MollyGoLightly's channel. You can watch the full thing there. It is an interview with Wynette, actually, and Letitia is in the comments during this. So we use the same profile picture. Elle is not in this one, but she's part of the whole misinformation crony. So we just went with the theme. But per usual, this all falls under the fair use guidelines. It is based on my opinion and my opinion only. Once again, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. All right, let's see if we can get into it. Hey, Addicted. Oh, yeah, and we're going to go. Oh, hey, Orion. Hey, Lisa. Sorry if I missed anybody else. Granny T, Jacinda, Janet, TT, Angie. Hey, everybody. Thanks for popping in. So this is, like I said, this is going back. And the reason for it is I'm going to drop a Saturday Scary after this from yesterday. And you'll see that people are asking, why are you guys still talking about this? Because they're still talking about it. And if you don't believe me, go watch her stream from yesterday. She brings it up in the middle of questioning one of her own followers. Again, I will drop that video after this, but they keep talking about it. So we're going to keep debunking the misinformation that they've continued to spread. Hey, Flissy. Hey, everybody popping in. Thank you all for being here. Once again, we're just going to go through it. I did build in breaks where I know there's something I want to say. But again, if you have something you really want to interject, get my attention in the comments and we can go back to it also, okay? This is about a 45-minute video as is, so it'll be pretty long. Let's go. And of course, I built in my front part because I usually say, hey, everybody, Contessa here with your daily dose of nonsense on the web. You notice I've got it down finally. Oh, and join us tonight. Make sure you join us tonight. The Tessas are going live.
Hi, Miss Wynette. It's Marissa and Dustin.
Can you guys tell me if the volume is okay on your end? Can you hear them okay? Let me know if you guys can hear them. Angie, I've heard that, but I haven't seen it yet. I need to go look at it. Tell me if the volume on what you guys can hear from them is okay, please, because I did put this in there, so we can hear Molly from. Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know how to.
It's okay. We wanted to say hi. We were hoping that before we got into it, that you would clarify something. Do you remember that lovely token of appreciation you gave my son Jake a gift last week?
Yes. Did you want
to? So remember, this is back on August 10th. So just for clarification purposes only, Marvonne Sr. and Wynette, which Marvonne Sr. is the biological father of Marvon McCray, and Wynette is his stepmother. They traveled to Arizona to see Marvonne from the 18th to around the 26th of June. They had been there before social media really got amped up. They had already gone and visited. The only way we knew about it on social media is because Dre put it out there, just for clarification purposes. And this is being streamed August 10th, just so everybody has kind of a where we are.
Did you want to drop a link? I got a little.
Oh, you got the link. Oh, amazing. Perfect. Is your husband around?
No, hubby's working.
Aw, good for him.
So August 10th, remember, she asks, is your hubby around? Speaking about Marvonne Sr. So if you're new to this story, Marvonne Sr. has some pre-existing conditions, I guess is a nice way to put it. And they are still telling people at this point in time on August 10th that he's at work. Okay? We'll break that down more.
Come on. She's going to go. One admin admitted that people would be pissed to learn about Marvonne Sr.'s record. I don't even know it. I don't care. Mary Lou alleged that Letitia didn't tell Molly about Marvonne Sr. incarceration because she didn't want to look like I don't care about anyone's past.
Okay. First of all, Molly says, I don't care about anybody's past. That's not true. We've all heard her say how much about people's past. So in this situation, she doesn't care because she doesn't want to talk about it because it would admit that there has been misinformation intentionally spread. Again, I would have never spoke on this and I wouldn't even be bringing it up now if it wasn't part of unraveling the story. So Marvonne Sr., due to the pre-existing conditions, is under guidance of Georgia's laws. Let's put it nicely. I'm really trying to put it nicely and not like throw this all out there and drag him because, again, it doesn't matter to me. His past, everything doesn't matter to me. But it took him extra steps to be able to get to Arizona in the first place. And they have continued to pass it off that, no, he's just at work. He's a really hardworking man. Meanwhile, Letitia, the biological mother of Marvonne, is actually who told people that Marvonne Sr. was incarcerated. If you haven't seen those text messages, they are on Facebook and in other videos. So that's why it started to be talked about in why people were asking questions. But they opt to continue to run with this narrative instead of being truthful with people. And we will see it doesn't really work out, even in this.
We don't care. What? No one cares. We're all.
But she does care. She says no one cares.
Adults. I can't be more than 18. I haven't had time for a pass.
So there she says she's an adult, so she doesn't care about anybody's past, right? But that's the problem, is they're the reason why this got brought up in the first place, because they opted to lie about it. It didn't need to be brought into it. They did that. Letitia was pissed off at Marvonne Sr. and Wynette, therefore told admins and the creators that he was incarcerated. Molly knows. Molly knew. She absolutely knew. Again, we have text messages of Letitia telling one of the admins that she told Molly because she was pissed. Well, I'm paraphrasing. Again, the text messages are over there. But she admits that Letitia herself was the one who told them that. After Marvonne Sr. and Wynette were the ones to keep her in the loop and what was going on, because they were the first ones to make an effort to go out there and see Marvonne. Put all that into perspective. Still to this day, nothing's changed.
Yeah, who cares about his relative? He's working. He takes care of his family. Dude, I just...
How do I change it to a live chat? Can anybody tell me? Sorry, I just read that comment. Is something off in the comments? I don't know. Okay, sorry. Let's continue to go. But it was all inflated with all of this misinformation.
Hi, Miss Wynette.
So Wynette's...
Hey.
they're trying to get Wynette on camera and they keep popping back and forth. And watch how Molly reacts. This is just irritating to me. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to catch up. I didn't know if there was something wrong with chat or the comments. I don't see how I can change anything on this side. So if anything needs changed. Oh, not on my end. Okay.
Hey,
How you doing? Still figuring out how to work it, huh?
Instead of Molly trying to help her figure out the technical difficulties, she's laughing at her. Just wait. She acts like a complete. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, ma'am. Hold on.
She's got the.
Yes, ma'am.
Her thing's not working so well.
It's okay. Can you hear us, Miss Wynette?
Hey, Justin.
Hey, honey.
Oh, this lighting is awful here. I can use my turn the lamp on. Oh. Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay.
I can
So
hear you.
how about we clarify? Because some people are making a big
Hey,
deal
Mr.
of-
Justin.
Hey, honey bunny.
Oh.
She's more concerned about her. Do you guys get that? Wynette had sent a Cash App or a PayPal to Molly. I don't even really still don't know the amount because I haven't looked into it. She sent a Cash App for Molly's son. Remember, in the midst, the reason why people started asking questions about that was because Molly told everybody that she did. She announced it proudly. Why did she do it? To create conflict. You'll see.
Yeah, who cares about everybody's past? It doesn't bother me. I mean, as long as you're not like some baby killer or a child thing, you don't have child nudity and things like that, then you're not you don't steal puppies and.
So again, they don't want to talk about him potentially having a past or why that would be anything to do with this story, but they've wanted to use everybody else's past against them. Molly, can you make it make sense at all? What have you done to Dre?
Spain don't want you back? Oh my God. You had dinner from IHOP? Oh, we lost him.
This was just.
Oh, you took his top off at IHOP? Oh. Oh. I can honestly say, I've been going out since I'm 17. I've been partying like it's 1999 for a long time, but I've never taken my top off.
Well, she won't take it off at IHOP, but she sure shows them all over YouTube. Those udders have been seen worldwide. Absolutely interesting how
At the
this.
IHOP.
You haven't?
Not yet. The night's still young.
Not yet.
I gotta go get something that's crossed off my bucket list.
Well, she can cross off flashing the entire internet because she's done that.
Maybe we could do a mukbang with a whole bunch of packs of pancakes. I'm like, woohoo!
Funny.
Just so you know, Molly, you basically did that. It looks like a stack of pancakes smushed attached to your chest. So you can cross that off your bucket list. You did 2 in 1. I really think that you just hit 2 off your bucket list. Pancakes, that's what they look like.
Hi, Miss Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Okay, yes, this week.
I don't know what's wrong with this iPad. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
You want me to just call?
Yeah. How about I just call? Yeah, just call my phone. We can see you. We don't.
Don't laugh at me.
You're pretty. You look like Queen.
I left that in so first and foremost, people can understand that that is Wynette. That is not Letitia. Secondly, so instead of Molly helping her and trying to, avoid stress and anxiety, because technology can be very stressful when you're trying to do this, she laughs about it, which whatever, she's an entertainer. But even Wynette says, don't laugh at me. And you can see she's stressed, but Molly just carries on because it's more about a show. But these are, remember, we've been attacking this family. Right.
Latifah. Ah, come on. Look at this. She's back. Look at this.
It's embarrassing.
There she
Just
is.
take me off, please. This is
Aw.
embarrassing.
No, it's not
Okay.
embarrassing. We can hear you fine. Is that Martin Luther King on the right?
Oh, Lord.
She has no concept ever of what's appropriate and what's not. No clue.
All right, you go get your Tom Fords. I'll get my Chanel's and we'll be like, what's up?
Why the fuck is she talking about? You go get your Tom Fords and I'll get my Chanel. What? What? Everything is a show. Everything. And all about money and status. It's just
Okay, I got you on that. Okay, so the number one question is, I think that you know that you've been on YouTube with
the number one question. This is the number one question. This has never been a big deal to me whatsoever because this was all done intentionally. Once again, Wynette just sent a token of appreciation, I think, and Molly absolutely put Wynette in this situation. But remember, this is what Molly's claiming was the number one question.
us for about over a month, and you've seen a whole lot of not so cute things, a lot of things that are not true, things.
So first and foremost, this was a month into it that they'd been almost dealing with them. She's seen so not so cute things. Well, I wonder why. I wonder if they would have answered questions or provided transparency if any questions would have ever been asked. What do you guys think? Sure could have been handled differently, in my opinion.
That are just horrible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been treated like crap. Your husband's been treated like crap. Marvon.
Can anybody tell me if they've seen Marvonne Sr. and Wynette treated like crap? I know that one creator has said some controversial statements regarding his past and things like that. But beyond that, have you seen anybody else attack Wynette and Marvonne Sr. or even Letitia and her husband? I have not yet seen one proven attack on any of them, and especially not Marvonne Sr. and Wynette. I think I have been way more lenient and not as judgmental even on that situation than, yeah, it's just crazy to me. Nope. Yep. So yeah, you guys are saying the same thing. It's insane. And they haven't shown one bit of proof. One.
Okay, so do you remember the people are talking about the little offering that you gave to Jake last week?
Mhm.
They wanted they're raising questions saying, why would you take money out of the donation money to see Vaughn to give to my son?
No, I didn't take money out of the donation money. I work and I put my money inside of the Cash App account to send to Jake. And I was shocked at that because I was like, what, so that didn't come from the Cash App money because I work as well and my husband, but he doesn't,
So first of all, yep, it was called an offering. Secondly, she talks about how her checks, she works. I think she probably does have a job, but they go into her same account. So she sent an offering to Jake. Okay, that's fine. Again, the only reason I think people started asking questions is because they were raising money they were fundraising for this family because they needed help to see Marvonne. Well, we already know that they had already been there, but it was being posed at the time that it was for a return trip to Arizona. Just wait. It gets more interesting as we go.
Yeah. And my to make it, let's get it really clear. My check goes to my Cash App card, so I can get paid 2 days early. So hopefully that'll clear it up.
Right. So yeah, I mean, what these people are expecting, and so much of it is not even the truth. And
I could have sent it to you Zelle, I could have sent it to you Zelle, but I don't do Zelle.
I haven't used lie.
That's why I haven't even put a Zelle or anything.
No.
I don't have Cash App.
No. It's on subscriber mode. Okay.
Okay, again, though, I don't know why Wynette felt she needed to do that, but that's here nor there. But let's just say this again. If she sent a donation, does Molly genuinely ever read off every single donation that she gets on her Cash App or anything? So you mean to tell me that this was not intentional, that she gets a Cash App or something from Wynette and then she mentions it live? She doesn't do that typically when she gets a tip or an offering, does she? I haven't seen an amount that's been 100% clarified of how much it actually was. I've seen a bunch of different things alleged, but again, we have no proof of how much was sent or why. But this is in the midst when they are still fundraising and putting the fundraising information for people to donate to the family up on the screen. So Molly, again, is mixing the two in this. Absolutely interesting.
Yeah, so people were just thinking that maybe you were taking money out of the lawyer funds.
The lawyer fund. Notice what she says to Wynette. So we've always been, people have said, oh, they weren't raising money ever. The Jacksons were never a part of anything to do with legal funds, nothing like that. And I kept saying, I think there actually has been mention of the Jacksons with attorney, and that's why they were raising funds too. Not only travel, but attorney's fees. Well, there you have it. She just said it. And watch what she follows up with. Sorry, I built in some extra pop.
Do you have an attorney yet?
No, we don't have an attorney. The attorney that reached out to us, it just was a little fishy. And
so an attorney that reached out to them, but it was fishy. And no, they do not have legal representation. Again, that was August 10th. But they had already been to Arizona and were allowed to see Marvonne. So why would they need legal representation? Anybody make that make sense? And isn't it interesting how Wynette is genuinely answering these questions, and watch Molly's reaction? And the Saturday Scary is going to fit into part of this too. And that's from yesterday.
they decided not to take the case.
They
Gotcha.
decided not to take the case. They decided not to take the case. First of all, how would an attorney just reach out to them unless somebody was calling and say, please contact this family, yada, yada, yada. But secondly, why would the attorney have denied to take the case? And also, remember, at this point in time, too, we now know that real, actual, legit media outlets had done an interview with Marvonne Sr. between the time that he had seen Marvonne in June to this date. They had done an interview, and the interview wasn't airing either. Real media, credentialed media, has still not aired his interview. Interesting timeline if you start looking at things.
Believe me, I spent over $4,000, and I'm gonna let everybody know this. That's all.
She says, I spent over $4,000. Okay, but we also have text messages that show between the family members when Wynette's saying, the family helped us reach out to so-and-so. They stayed at the Fisher house when they were there. Travel's expensive. But why do we always go back to that $4,000 number? Anybody else kind of catch that to be odd?
What I had saved up in my account when I went out to Arizona, and I would do it all over again if I had to drive. I came back to Savannah with 16 cents in my account. So
she came back to Savannah with 16 cents in her account. Again, I'm not shaming anybody. This was an emergency, unexpected expense. But again, we have the text messages that prove they had help from family, somebody in the family, to even get there, because social media didn't know about the Jacksons at all until after the fact. Fundraising for the Jacksons didn't start until after they had already been there to see Marvonne. Okay? How are we working backwards here? They stayed at the Fisher house, which is lodging for family of VA patients, which was free. We've heard in other statements that they've made that they were allowed to even stay there for up to 2 weeks. Granted, we know that they weren't there that long. There's so many things if you look back and read, it's like, or listen, whew.
Wow.
It's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the love for my husband's son.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the love for my husband's son. Which you guys know, I've always had kind of a soft spot for Marvonne Sr., especially because he did go through hell to get where he needed to be under his circumstances. And I will always give him props because he made him a priority and didn't let anything step in his way. But if it wasn't about the money, then why were they fundraising for the money? They had already been there to see Marvonne. We just heard that the attorney that reached out to them declined to take the account or take the case, I guess. I don't even know. You can't even call it a case because there's no case. It doesn't make sense. Hey, y'all popping in. Thank you for joining us.
Did your heart just completely break when you finally saw him?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Most definitely.
Why wouldn't, I mean, these questions that she asks, of course her heart's going to break.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
I mean, like,
And it was so funny because I was sitting up here the morning that Monday, which was the 13th, and my husband called and said, "Are you on the way to pick me up so we can go to Arizona?" I was like, "Huh? I didn't know. I didn't know." So we had to get a rental. I didn't know. Like I said, I did not.
Just some things to note right there that she said, because people still think we're lying. She said, I had to get a rental. She said she has to go pick him up. He called and she needed to go pick him up. The 13th is when she says he called her. Timeline is all legit with what we've told you has happened. Because these are things they have said. We don't just pull these out of the air.
I realized we were even going, and then God just worked it out.
Yeah.
And
you got to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
God just worked it out and they were able to see him. Again, this was being streamed on August 10th. They had been there almost a month previous. Not quite a month, but 3 weeks. I mean, they had absolutely already been there. So everything was backwards. They were doing all of this backwards. And anybody else curious of who asked the Jacksons if they needed fundraising help? I'd love to see that. I've never seen the Jacksons ask for anything.
we did catch Miss Andrea in a little bit of a Freudian slip. She claims recently that she thought that when she saw you and your husband, that you were Von's mom. And that's why she said, "Oh no, we need to call security." Did you see that video?
Yes, the video that she recorded us. No, what video?
No, and there's a newer one. There's a newer one where she got caught lying.
Well, I had already told my husband that when we were standing right there. I said, "Marvonne, she thinks I'm Tisha, and she thinks you're Tisha's husband."
Wait, what did she just say again? We've clipped this already, and I've already pulled this out once. But listen to it in its full context again. And who's the liar, Molly? Listen to Wynette. What does Wynette answer to every single one of these questions? Let's go back to it and see. Because I'm pretty sure you heard what I heard.
There's a newer one where she got caught lying.
Well, I had already told my husband that when we were standing right there. I said, "Marvonne, she thinks I'm Tisha, and she thinks you're Tisha's husband."
Wynette actually knows that Dre was confused. Wow. And who's the one?
Not we all look alike, but we favor each other. He's
Right.
beautiful. I'm beautiful. My husband's handsome.
Yes.
His husband's handsome. So I told him that. I said, that's what she's thinking. So she just kept trying to
So that's what she's thinking. But they have said all along that Dre knew exactly who it was. Wynette's telling them flat out over and over again, no, she was confused. I told my husband the same thing. She was confused. Interesting. And they've still ran with that same narrative, even though Wynette told her the truth how many times to her face?
I just go, she zoned us out. I'm like, wait a minute here. I was excited. I was like, oh, Marvonne, there's Dre right there. I was excited because I thought she was going to be excited to see us. I didn't know.
Wow.
She didn't know. Really? And they've tried to run with that
I
and twist it.
was mentally, you know,
Of
I was
course,
just,
drink.
yes,
No,
ma'am.
nobody wants to drive across the country. It's horrible, especially Texas.
Well, you know what? I enjoy every bit of it. That was my vacation for the next time I go there. I didn't want to do any driving once I got back to Savannah. I was like, can somebody drive me in my car? You know, but
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, it was beautiful. I loved it. I had never been out of past New York. I loved it. I loved it.
Aw.
So Wynette is even, this is one thing I will say about Wynette. Wynette is always super positive and tries to look for the good in things. It seems like that's what I get out of it. But there's got to be another side here because her and Letitia absolutely do not get along. They have no relationship. Wynette is actually on the same prayer list of Letitia's that Katie Joy is on. Whatever that means is interesting in itself. We have plenty of text messages that have been posted. A lot of you have seen them all about Wynette and how Letitia feels about her, and it's not good. Wynette's always very respectful, and she's always seems to come off very positive and very uplifting. I think that's where some of it gets a little hard at times to weed through because you're looking at it and you're hearing what they're saying, and you really genuinely believe this is what's going on. But there's a whole other side of this that obviously we're not seeing. Yes, Wynette did say that Letitia threatened her life. Yep, that is true. And I do have screenshots of, again, the messages of multiple things with their arguments, and Letitia being the one to tell everybody that Marvonne Sr. was incarcerated. There's all of that too. All of that's posted. There's a lot.
Wow.
And I'm not going to say I'll never drive it again, but, because if I have to, I would.
Yeah.
I would do it.
You made the best.
Because if I have to, I would. Okay, nothing has changed, right? The incident took place May 23rd. They've been there one time. Fundraising started for the Jacksons around probably July 9th, 10th in there is when they came on social media. And they haven't been back. But this gets more
Best of it despite the circumstances.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep, make the best out of it under the circumstances, huh, Justin?
Yeah, but she
I'm not
she
gonna
slipped
say
up.
we'll be on the road again.
Hear how Molly is trying to interject again and continue the narrative even after Wynette corrected it and said, no, this is what happened. Molly is trying to go back and say that, nope, Dre slipped up. She lied.
Slipped up. She by saying the other day, oh, I thought that it was the mother. And can you pull that video up, Justin?
I was trying to find.
What? Why would it matter even if she had them confused? I don't understand the reasoning behind that. Besides, they tried to put this narrative out there that Dre had a potential restraining order on Letitia, but I don't even get where she's trying to push that. There was so much evidence and is so much evidence that she didn't know which was which. And that just it shows everybody flat out right in front of your face that they didn't have the relationship that they tried to pass off. It's just not there. Thank you, everybody, for popping in.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find,
But you know what?
Somebody can email it.
I kind of figured she did because
Wynette again is saying, I kind of figured she had us confused. Molly tries to spin it. She brings it back to, she did have us confused.
later on that night, she tried to reach out to me, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna say anything,
Later on that night, she tried to reach out to me, and I chose not to say anything. Dre tried reaching out.
Later on that night, she tried to reach out to me, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna say anything,
Why, if you are trying to mediate everything and you want to see your son and you want the best for everybody, when Dre reaches out to communicate with you, why are you not trying to continue with communication? Why? She says it's because she's just the stepmother, but obviously Dre was reaching out to her for a reason. There was a reason there. And you can remember too, Letitia posted on social media back, I think it was like June 13th, something like that, that Wynette had blocked, or not Wynette, that Dre had blocked them off of social media, that she had blocked everybody. Remember that and pay attention to what is being said that comes up. There was so much.
Because I'm the stepmother, and my husband is the husband, and Tisha's the mom, so
Yeah.
it has to go through them.
Yeah.
So
You've been really respectful to
She did
Tisha.
text me that. She said if I knew him, maybe Vaughn's father, Vaughn's dad, she texted me and said something similar to that. But
she texted her and said something similar to that. So again, Dre reached out the very night they left the hospital, and they opted to not continue communication. Why? Did Wynette not tell Letitia that she had reached out? I'm sure she did. Did she not tell Marvon Sr. that she had reached out? I'm sure she did. So why was the family choosing to not communicate? But then we've been told all along that it was Dre refusing to communicate with the family, that it was Dre refusing to let them see their son, that it was Dre who was refusing them to have any information, wouldn't return any texts or anything, right? She was the one that blocked all of them. Very interesting.
it's, it's a little bigger than that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that video.
She's still trying to find the video. She still wants them to find the video of Dre being confused so Molly can continue to spin that narrative. Sorry. Even after told, she still pushes the same narrative.
Erica said, I thought she met Miss Letitia already. What I think happened, let me ask you a question.
And people are getting me, like Tisha said last night when I was listening to your video, people are getting me and Tisha mixed up.
Yeah, they are.
Because I don't know, I'm quite sure she did meet Tisha, but I only met her once at our home in 2015. I met her and she came.
So Wynette is saying that she had met Dre in 2015. Notice they can't answer how many times Letitia and Dre had met. Notice they instantly, Molly goes, well, what I think has happened here. No, Molly, we don't give a fuck what you think. We don't want to hear what you have to say. And, or it's interesting that you read Erica's comment too, but that's another thing. Your source kind of sucks. Yeah, none of it makes sense. None of it. And they
with the kids and the girls and the baby, and
yeah,
stayed about an hour or two, and then they left.
Wow.
They stayed about an hour or two, and then they left. So this great relationship that everybody has been running with, that he had with his family, they stayed about an hour or two, and then they left. Okay. All right. I mean, to each their own, but it's just not
with
what
the baby, and my husband was so excited.
Aww. So you're not allowed to get any updates on how Marvon's doing?
You saying to me, Molly? No, I haven't gotten any updates.
Yeah, I wish we could.
First of all, Molly says, I wish we could. Why do you need to know anything? Why do you need an update? And don't you think if they really wanted an update, they would have encouraged and kept communicating with Dre? You know, how many times did Dre reach out to them that we've heard now and they declined communication? Isn't it interesting? We know all of this didn't go down like they've claimed.
I really do. Everyone's asking us.
I have a friend there that God is so good. When we were there, I met a lady. She was trying to get out of the hospital, and I was sitting out there waiting on my husband one day, and she was trying to get out of the hospital, and I started walking by, like, ma'am, do you need some help? So I was like the little person that help people when they get off the elevator. I was helping them find the directions where they needed to go because I'm sitting there. So, and she was a nice lady I met, and her name was Joy, beautiful lady. So she was the one who kept our dog while we were there.
So I don't know if this is a different lady. We've seen the text messages that state that she met a nurse that was keeping them informed on Marvonne a little bit. That's, again, paraphrasing. Those text messages are on Facebook too. But she had met somebody else, and in text messages, they said it was a nurse. Now she talks about meeting another lady who kept their dog for him while they were there. So I don't know if it's one and the same, just to be 100% transparent. I don't know that, but we have heard Wynette say she met a couple people while they were at the VA visiting. Just for full transparency, I wanted to add that in there. But the lady's name was
Fancy, sweet lady. So I'm just going to try to reach out to her and see if she can.
Why would you not reach out to Dre? Why are you going to reach out to some random stranger that doesn't know? Again, maybe it was the nurse and maybe it is one and the same. But why not reach out to Dre? Doesn't that seem like it would have been so much easier? I just don't get it.
You know, sweet lady. God put people in your path for reasons.
God puts people in your path for reasons. And how many times did you decline to respond to Dre?
Do you see all the horrible, nasty things that they're sending to Rochelle and Miss Letitia?
No, I haven't seen anything. I just.
Oh, they're all.
Yeah, I haven't.
It's Dre's friends that are ripping into Miss Letitia. We have all the screenshots. They're just basically saying, "What kind of mother are you? You're just doing this for the money. You're going to hell." And it's all Andrea's friends.
So they say that they have all the screenshots of all of the stuff that is happening to Letitia and Rochelle. First of all, she's saying this to Wynette, who Wynette obviously probably does not really communicate or keep up with Rochelle and Letitia. If you've seen the text messages or posts that they've made, it's very obvious there is a separation there. So Wynette isn't going to really be paying attention to that. And even if she says it, I don't think she's probably going to speak on it. So that was silly. But they have all these text messages. Why haven't they shown them? We've heard her come at how many people now? If you are saying you're getting attacked, then show it. I don't believe you unless you actually show proof of it. We've heard that how many times she said to other people, but she doesn't follow that same logic. Interesting. All of it's very interesting.
Doing it.
Yeah, it's Andrea, not Kate. Oh, wow, that's awful.
And looky here. So they're saying that Molly, at this point in time, that day, for that moment, was trying to run with it. Everybody that's asking questions, anybody that's saying anything, is obviously Dre's friend from Dre's side of things. Well, interesting enough, that's not true. They have never shown proof that anybody from Dre's side has done anything, said anything. The only person that I really know that publicly shamed Rochelle was Molly. That video is still up. And I broke it down. This video actually happened after I made a highlight reel saying, what about Rochelle's voice? Because Rochelle had been posting stuff on her private Facebook, in the groups, in comment sections, and nobody wanted to acknowledge her voice. Molly actually publicly questioned Rochelle's intentions with the money and the fundraisers. So people started looking at Rochelle differently, but that was nobody's fault but Molly's. Again, that video is still up, where she tries to kiss Rochelle's ass after she said a whole lot of nonsense online. Molly's the one that caused that. But again, we've never seen any proof that anybody was attacking her. They were questioning the motives and what they were wanting the funds for. Because according to what they said in her video, where she basically kind of drags Rochelle, they said, wow, they obtained legal representation and now we're just, that's when she did one of her water spigot moments. Interesting. That video exists.
It's either way, whoever's doing it, they're real people. And I pray that they don't have children of their own. I hope they don't have loved ones that they care about, because you want to know something? The universe, God, and karma are
karma is real. Karma is so real.
You get what you put out.
So just to make sure, everybody that's asking questions, obviously we're real people, they think. what the fuck? Like, I just can't. No, we're robots. We're all bots. Just asking random questions. Come on. And as far as us not having children, all of this stuff, I would absolutely prefer our children ask questions instead of blindly follow misinformation and people like this who walk them right into dangerous situations with no care in the world. I would absolutely rather have a kid that questions a lot more. Mocha's right. Absolutely.
You want to be mean and ugly? Then guess what? When stuff starts happening to you and you want to look up and say, God, why me? Why is this happening? Look back at these videos and I'll remind you.
That's right.
Molly, this is your look back at this video and I'll remind you. Karma hasn't been very nice to you recently, has it? Your numbers have dropped. You don't feel well. Your husband's out of the country. You've had to call 911 how many times recently? Like, shit just doesn't seem like it's going that well. You lost your own assistant because you publicly shamed her. Your friends last for about a month. You change friendships more than some people change underwear, and that's disgusting too. But it's the truth. Like, come on. Karma is not really being friendly. But you wanted to remind us of this video, so I'm just reminding you of this video. I'm obliging. You asked, and here we are, still right here. Karma has an interesting way of playing out.
That is so true. And like my husband was saying, when he was being interviewed by you, he didn't know this was going to fall. And I came right back. Spent time with my mom. It's not about me. It's not about me, but I'm just using this as an example. I spent time with my mom. We had our family reunion. And then the next week, my mother was is still in CCU with COVID and on a ventilator. So, I mean, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real. I just saw her yesterday. And she's fighting. Boy, she is fighting.
Good for her. I'm glad she's
fighting. She's a fighter.
Yeah, I can't believe we got another string of that going around.
Yeah. And she had all her shots and boosters. And she's going to be fine.
I just left that in there to once again send my condolences to Miss Wynette. She did unfortunately lose her mom during all of this. So not only have they gone through what's happening with Marvonne, but she has had real life stuff happening too. So instead of, these creators acknowledging, hey, there's a lot going on here that could affect the family, and trying to make sure that they were transparent so the family was protected, they just kept walking them right into things. And then the other thing in that really pisses me off is she had COVID, obviously, and she had gotten her vaccinations and stuff. That's everybody, like, everybody's entitled to their own feelings. But the fact that Molly makes a spectacle over that because she's got feelings on that pissed me off so freaking bad. It's disgusting.
Aw.
Yeah.
I sure do hope that Vaughn wakes up. I hope that he wakes up and he's able to be rehabilitated. I really do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And remember, I just want to remind everybody, she's saying that now on August 10th. This was when that was streamed. But in her previous videos, she had repeatedly said he was not going to survive. He was a dead man. Like, and this is not my words. These are things she said. So now she's playing back to the narrative of, oh, I hope, all of that stuff. And everybody that's been praying prays that he opens his eyes and gets better. Everybody's been praying for a miracle or for peace. Like, that's the thing. She has gone back and forth, but nobody did this stuff but her. Her and the other creators that she hangs out with. It changes from day to day. It grosses me out every time.
Yeah, this is so sad. It's so sad to watch all of these videos that she's since deleted. But guess what?
I don't know what videos she's referring to that Dre has gone in and deleted, because to my knowledge, she hasn't. But Molly wouldn't know that anyways, because Molly doesn't do her own content. And when she does, it's very obvious because we've seen the screen recordings. But to my knowledge, she didn't go in and delete a bunch of videos. Can anybody correct me? Has anybody seen Dre go in and wipe out a bunch of videos? Because I have not seen that done once. She privated her business page, I think, or took it down. Oh, there's the cat. Yeah, I've only...
She had enough enemies out there before all this happened that they knew to record her.
She had enough enemies out there that they knew to record her. So again, she's just admitting these weren't people that loved and cared about this family or wanted what was best for Marvonne. These were people that had been banking information on Dre because they couldn't stand Dre. She even calls them Dre's enemies. No, it's the little girl and he always bosses them around. He's terrible. Yeah, one video that maybe got deleted. I didn't see her mass delete.
I mean, I've seen a lot of videos, you know, before she took them down. I've seen them until she blocked me. She blocked me when we were in Tucson.
She didn't block Wynette until after, I'm assuming, and granted, we don't know, but after Wynette didn't return her message when she messaged her after they left the hospital, I'm assuming she got blocked during that time. Which, why wouldn't she? If she's refusing to communicate and Dre's reaching out, trying to communicate with them, and she's being refused, why would she just let them carry on? It seems to me like Dre had been trying to even maybe use Wynette as kind of a mediator. But again, nobody wanted to do that. Interesting. I can't stand dirty deleting. Jennifer,
Wow.
I haven't noticed that either.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's stopping you guys from going back to Tucson?
Really, like I said, I could save about 4 or 5 more checks and we can go.
Mm-hmm.
So she says that she needs to save 4 or 5 more checks and they can go back. Where did all the funds go? So we know they didn't get legal representation. The attorney was declined. Well, the attorney that reached out to them, she had a weird feeling about her, or something was fishy, but the attorney declined the case. But now she needs to save up money to go back, which again, I know it's expensive, but they were getting donations. They'd been getting donations for about a month. You notice in the video, their Cash App is up, or PayPal, whichever it was. Why didn't they go back? That doesn't make sense, does it? Can anybody say that makes sense?
But I'm worried about my mom and I'm worried about my stepson and I'm just like, what in the world when it rains it pours? And then when I got back from my car decided it wanted to say, okay, I need a rest.
That's right. You told me that.
But I thought she said that she got a rental. Anybody catch
When
that?
does Mr. Marvon come back?
Let's look at the date. Oh, he calls me every morning when he gets to work.
Okay. Why? Just a couple of things that I have to call out here again. I don't care about his past or his background or anything, but it's because they brought it up and they continue to lie about it that it just frustrates the piss out of me. Does your husband, when he leaves home, first thing he does when he gets to work, call you on the phone? I mean, some might, which is totally fine. Some talk to their spouses the entire way, but just listen to the way things are worded. Marvon Sr. obviously does not come home often. He's not there. Like, they're saying it. Wynette is saying it without saying it.
You heard anything about Doughboy? I said, no, I haven't heard anything. He said,
Why would he be calling her every morning to get updates on Marvon Jr., which they call Marvon Jr. Doughboy? That's their nickname for him. So again, why would he be calling? He just left home, right? Oh, but then they've gone on he works out of town. That still doesn't make sense, guys.
He talked to Justin. No, I haven't talked to Tisha. I told him to call Tisha.
And again, Marvon Sr., the biological father, Letitia, biological mother. Marvon was put up for adoption as a child, very little child. He was raised by his great-grandparents. They were never married. They didn't have a continuing relationship. Wynette is Marvon Sr.'s wife. But Wynette had been encouraging Marvon Sr. to reach out to Letitia and communicate. They kept Letitia in the loop of what was going on when they were in Arizona. We do know that. Again, we have text messages of that. It's just a whole lot of circles in these conversations.
He has a chance. Hold on, I'm looking at my calendar. The end of the month, the last Sunday of this month, he'll be home.
Okay.
So that was August. It's what? October? The math ain't mathin', guys. The math ain't mathin'.
End of the month.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long will he be home?
And then I laugh, Miss Molly. I say, every time he calls, I said, do you want to call Miss Molly or Justin? He said, I don't have that long. I don't have much time. And Miss Molly likes to talk.
Miss Molly's a little long-winded.
He said, she likes to talk. And I got to be where I can talk to her for a long time. I said, yeah. He's like calling me while he's on his break or something. And yeah.
She's a little long-winded.
And we've seen that Marvon Sr. did give a couple interviews with Molly previous to this. If you haven't watched those, they are also broke down and commentated on previously on my channel. But he has given 2 lengthy interviews with them. Nothing has changed in the story. Nothing had changed, but the interviews are always extremely different. There's always a lot that you can catch. So if you haven't watched those, you can go back and watch some of that too. There's a lot there. Molly is long-winded, for sure.
But he likes you, though, because he's never talked that long on the phone to anybody.
Really?
And smiling. I was like, oh,
Aw.
keep you off the camera.
I'll tell you what, he's a very handsome man. He's a handsome fella.
Not only had he talked to Molly and Justin, though, too, he had interviewed with legit news media that Letitia declined to do an interview with, that the interview has not aired still to this day. He talked to legit media. Remember that. He also talked to Katie Joy, which we've heard that he hung up on her, all of these other things, which there's no proof of. Nobody has ever proven that that was true. Oh, is Jesse here? Aw, poor little guy looking for attention and subs. Aw.
That's all I used to tell Marvonne when I was Marvonne Jr. when I was in the room with him. I used to say that to him, talk to him. You're so handsome. Your hands, everything looks like your dad's. Your feet, everything. I said, you're just so handsome. And I just rubbed him in his hair and scratched his hair and rubbed his hair. And he used to be like, oh, like looking like, feeling like, oh, this feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great experience. It was a good experience.
I just wanted to leave that part in here, and because it's really sad. Wynette is, again, trying to be very positive about the situation and talking about, how she was trying to be in good spirits when she was there seeing Marvonne. It's really sad because you can tell she genuinely is trying to be positive about the story. But it's a heartbreaking situation.
Justin, do you have anything you want to ask?
No. I think
No?
good.
Somebody said, is he locked up? No, my husband isn't locked up. He's not locked up.
No, he's
Well, there's that. So he's not locked up. Okay. Why is Letitia telling everybody that he was incarcerated then? Why did Letitia, again, family, why would Letitia be telling people in text messages that were helping her, the same people that helped the Jacksons, why would Letitia be telling them that he was incarcerated? Again, text messages are on the page. It doesn't make sense. And his records are there. They are what they are. You can publicly search and find out a whole lot. That's really here nor there. I've said from moment one, I don't think that that should have had to come out, but they positioned everything in that direction. If Letitia wouldn't have been telling people that he was incarcerated, it would have never came out. Yep, straight out of the horse's mouth.
no.
He's not locked up.
From what I know about her husband, he's got a very good work ethic, and people all over want to hire him.
And when you're locked up, you can't come home. So they have to
You guys know, I mean, most of you guys have already seen how that went down. He might have a great work ethic. I do know that he does work up there. I think that's part of the gig that they do. But it's not as they make it seem, which again, here nor there, but when you bring it to social media and you lie to everybody, and Molly knows his situation. And instead of being honest with her followers, she again chooses to lie to them. So when people start asking questions, then we're the bad guys for asking questions, even though Letitia's the one that started it by texting people that, the admins of these groups that were helping her. We have text messages that Molly knew from Letitia admitting it, that she told Molly herself. So instead of being honest with their followers, they opted to lie to them. Make it make sense. Oh, is that not the right one?
And when you're locked up, you can't take a link on MollyGoLightly's channel.
That part.
Obviously, he can.
part.
See, there's so many non-truths to put out, and it gets to a point for us where we're like, come on,
And
guys.
I don't want to tell his business. I'll let him tell it. That's
Yeah.
my husband wants to talk. He can talk about it. But you know, I'm not going to put my husband out there like I wouldn't do.
Just a quick question. Has he been back on since this video? Can anybody answer that? Has Marvonne Sr. given another interview live and been asked questions and answered them? Can anybody answer that? This was August 10th. And did he ever tell his business? Interesting. Oh, that's not the other Jesse, is it? Sorry, Jesse, if you're the other Jesse. There's
Anybody like that. That's just not me.
a Chihuahua Jesse.
Oh, your husband's a truck driver?
No, my husband's not a truck driver.
I didn't. Someone put that he was a truck driver. I was like, I don't think he's a truck driver. No.
Oh, no, ma'am. I wouldn't have that. No, just kidding.
Look at how eager she was to see if she'd roll with that. Look at how eager, even though Molly knows exactly the situation.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's okay. It's their business, what they do. All I know is that he's got a good work ethic, and
Oh, yeah, they love him.
yeah.
He's got a great work ethic. That's all Molly knows. Again, she's just choosing to not be honest with her followers. It's a choice they've made.
That's
I
exactly right.
just want to say this, Justin and Miss Molly, y'all have been doing a great, exceptional job. I mean, I
Oh,
can't work during the day 'cause I'm out walking, trying to canvas. I work with New Georgia Projects. I'm a canvasser.
Yes.
I go people doors, you know, blase, make sure they get out the vote.
Yeah.
And sign them up to vote. But I can't watch you during the day, but I try to catch up at night, you know, when I get in about 7, I try to catch up on everything. But I enjoy y'all. I mean, I really enjoy y'all.
you're very
I have a couple questions here. Wynette says that they're doing a great job. This is where I have a problem with Wynette. They've been continually passing misinformation about Marvon's story and his life, his family, the ones that you claim to care about and were so excited to see in 2015. And instead of correcting this misinformation, you corrected one part and said that Dre was confused and did have you guys mixed up. You've corrected that. But instead of correcting any of the other misinformation about Marvon's life, Marvon's story, having respect for your stepson, having respect for his family, his wife, his children, you've condoned behaviors like this and sat there and encouraged it. And not only thanked them, but encouraged them to keep going with the spread of misinformation. This is where I continually go back to, and I cannot get on board with even the Jacksons. You've had so many opportunities to be transparent, and you've opted to not. I will never run. I can never get my head in that. I will never be able to.
Changed tremendously. Because you don't find too many real people. You just don't find too many real people.
Yeah, especially on YouTube.
yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But you know,
And again, I don't know if it's because of all the stress of the situation that she's just choosing to be intentionally ignorant with what's going on. But if she's calling the Wish version of Ken and Barbie real, I think there's issues about her judge of character. But again, I think she's just kind of saving face and being nice. because this is what they want. Y'all, I will try.
Honestly,
comments.
I'd rather not have met. To be quite honest with you, I'd
Yeah.
rather this had
I'd
never
rather met
happened.
under different circumstances.
Yes, I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
like.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't like this
understand
story.
that. Yes, ma'am.
I don't like this story at all. It rubs me so wrong, and so many people are under the misconception of fraudulent activity and
She can't even answer that. Under fraudulent activity. That's what she wants to go with. Well, no, we didn't just jump there. Ever. We never just jumped from questions to that was what we instantly assumed was happening. They have continued to lie and hide stuff. And then it always has a way of creeping out and biting them in the ass in the end. But then what do? They lie again. These are choices that they have made continually throughout the entire story. And again, why are we talking about this still? Wait for the Saturday Scary that's popping up after this one. It's a short 5-minute clip. October 14th. She's still talking about this and lying about it. So as long as she continues to pass off misinformation and continue to push this narrative, we will continue to debunk their bullshit and show you exactly how they held everybody's hand right in to the direction that it's headed.
just gruesome and unheard of accusations towards people that are
Yes,
suffering.
ma'am.
I cannot
ma'am.
believe what these people are doing to Miss
Lisa,
Letitia.
thank you, Lisa. That's
I'm going to pause it right here for a couple minutes. She says the gruesome things that are being done basically to the family, right? To Letitia. What about Dre? Can anybody tell me all the different things? There are so many things that they have done and said. Have a good day, Rhonda. It is absolutely the most insane thing to hear her say that they have done all of this stuff to Letitia, Wynette, Marvonne Sr. For how many months did they sit there daily and do this to Dre? And they're still doing it. Cash, same thing. Jesse, it's not for us. Well, for us over here, it's not about the creators. It's about the BS that they created, the false narrative. The story that they created was based off of a foundation of lies. And she wasn't the only one involved in it. No, there's been quite a few. This is not just a sole Molly hater. We're an equal opportunity hater over here. Their behaviors are what we have a problem with.
a very sweet comment, what she said.
Just so unnecessary. And
It
going for the jugular at her worst moment, knowing that she's working day and night. And, you know, we wanted to talk to her the other night, and she's like, Miss Molly, I just really need to get some rest. I really, really just need to get some rest.
So first of all, most of you have seen the text message where Justin guilt trips Letitia after she said that she was tired and didn't want to come on live. And he says, people just want to hear from you. Please come on, or whatever it is. Again, it's on Facebook. It's already been posted. They didn't care about that. But they're trying to put it off that Letitia's in this horrible, dire situation, right? Letitia's the biological mother who put Marvonne up for adoption when he was a child, a very small child. She has not been a big portion of his life for the majority of it. Again, not discrediting that she still has emotions and feelings in this, because she does. That is very valid. But what about the things that they've done to his wife? You don't have to like one or the other to understand that what has been done to the wife of Marvonne, if this was about what was best for Marvonne, this ain't it. They've continued to say that they are raising funds, sending money to the Jacksons, and also sending money to Letitia Bias was somehow for a lawyer fund. a Justice for Vaughn fund. Not a single cent of the money that has been raised, not a single penny has gone to help Marvonne or those children. Not a single cent of the money raised has gone to Marvonne or those children. And this was supposedly about Marvonne. Rhonda, I think you've missed like 4 months of information. Have a great day. You're highly misinformed, and there's no point.
I was like, go ahead, get your rest. Get your rest.
Letitia's she's a hard worker. She works hard. She works very hard.
And that's great. Wonderful that she's a hard worker. They've said over and over again that the money was going for legal fees and travel. Still, to this day, there has been zero proof that legal representation has ever been obtained. They were allowed to see Marvonne. So where did all this money go? Because we know it didn't go to Marvonne and the kids. So tell me how all of these donations that were sent to the family helped Marvonne. Rhonda, answer that. You got so much to say. Answer me how this helped Marvonne. And I don't know if you're new to the story, but people have been covering this for quite some time. Did I just block the wrong person? Oh, okay. I think I got it. It doesn't make sense. You're welcome to hang out, but the intentional ignorance and just being completely misinformed and going to come in here and spread complete fabrications and not even on this, you're talking about something that doesn't exist or hasn't happened. So we're totally open for open discussion, but you seem like you have a very shallow vision, and I'll continue on with the video and give you some time to answer this. Oh, hold on. She did. None of you are arguing about it is helping Vaughn. All of you. So again, you're one of these ones that thinks that because it might not be helping Marvonne. Do you understand that people telling the truth of what actually fucking happened is helping Marvonne? It's helping Marvonne's children to know that the man that they love has somebody standing up for them in his name. So tell me again how this isn't helping by telling the truth of his story when other people who had nothing to freaking do with this in the first place brought it to social media and twisted it and turned it. Oh, we're just all supposed to ignore it now because people are uncomfortable because they're getting called out on all of their fucking lies and fabrications? Yeah, sorry, not going to happen. It's time people get uncomfortable. And you don't like it, you know where the door is. You got your way here. You found your way here. I didn't just pop up out of nowhere. You found your way here. You can exit just as fast because the intentional ignorance is an excuse that nobody wants to fucking hear anymore.
All of us do. We gotta work. If you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
You gotta work to eat. Absolutely. How has this helped Marvonne and the kids? What has that money done to go towards helping feed Marvonne's children? Because the people that you're condoning their behavior of, oh, there goes the cat again. You're condoning their behavior, Wynette, have sat and made it impossible for Dre to continue on with her business on social media. So you guys need to work to feed your families, but she doesn't. That's an interesting concept too. Rhonda, the full police report is out there. Do you need it read? Because it's been read all over social media. Go back to your buddies' channels. They've read it for you for days on end. It's all there. The authorities have been involved in this since day one. Isn't that a fucking weird concept? People in professional positions that actually have a say in what happened are involved. There has still been no charges on anybody. That's an interesting concept too, isn't it, Rhonda?
And there's just, don't be calling people scam artists unless you can prove that they're a scam artist, because you're gonna get yourself in a heap of trouble, people. So just stop saying that. That's a horrible thing to say. It's almost like saying, you know what, your father's a pedophile.
That's
Excuse
right.
So saying somebody potentially is involved in a scam is the same as calling somebody's parent a PEDO. I won't even spell it all. Can anybody make that make sense? Can anybody make that make sense? Which one of MGL's cronies is Rhonda? It's probably a brand new profile. Yeah, if she's got something to say, I'll drop a link for her. But she better come with proof and facts, because I will absolutely put her right where she belongs with the truth and facts. Not a single cent of all of this money has gone to help Marvonne and those children. And we will continue to say that over and over again. So while you bitch about this isn't helping Marvonne, maybe you should go bitch at those creators and tell them that maybe they should tell some facts and truth so the story can get twisted back to what it should have been. The facts.
Excuse me? Oh, well, I have no proof. I'm just going to put it out there.
That's fine.
That's horrible. You don't do that to people.
Awful big words for Molly, right? I don't have no proof, but I'm just going to put it out there. Bitch, that's all you do. That's all you do. Show us proof. He said that Letitia and Rochelle have been threatened, and all of these things have been done by Dre's followers, which we know isn't true. So show it. Prove us one thing that you've claimed, Molly. I challenge you. There's got to be one thing that you've said that you could prove. It's been months, right? You got to be able to find one thing in there that you can prove. Can you?
You don't treat people that way. Because when you treat people that way, they go crazy and they end up like that guy that just took out his kids in Oklahoma City. All right?
That's not.
So if you ask people questions and it stresses them out, they end up like that. Really, Molly? That's awful interesting that you try to compare these situations.
Thank you, Miranda. People putting too much energy into the rumors. The energy needs to be put into positivity and prayers. My prayers stay with Vaughn and his family, his son and 2 girls that he's helped raise. Thank you, Miranda Lynn, for a comment mainly. That is true.
Amen, ma'am.
We have to stay positive, even though these people out of no.
So the comment says that they read was about praying for Marvonne and the kids. But again, please tell me what these creators have done to help Marvonne and his family. What have they done to help Marvonne and his children? And I will continue to ask you guys that over and over again. Jesse, that's not true. It didn't start. Actually, all the fundraising had already started. Katie and Molly got involved at the same time. There was already questions being asked. People had started asking for refunds around July 9th, 10th. Katie didn't ask for a refund until way after the fact. People were already asking questions. There was already problems. There's posts that Letitia's made herself when she was getting called that Molly did videos where other people were asking questions and calling Letitia out and pointing out that there was big holes in the story way before Katie got involved. So that's what we've been saying all along, is there is 2 separate things that they've tried to run with that are just not true. Angie, right?
I just want to attack them. And you want to know something? It's hard for me and Justin to just sit here and watch it happen. We wouldn't.
No, of course. It's hard for them to sit and watch it happen. They've just done it daily, over and over and over again, but to Marvonne's wife and his children. She has used how many clickbait photos of the kids, the minor children, or used them for content how many times? I do know she deleted a few of those, I think, from what I've understood, or privated them. And tell me that that's their concern. That's them being concerned for this family. How does that make sense? Not a single cent of any of the money that has ever been raised has gone to help Marvonne or their children. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again until people get it through their fucking heads. This has never been about what's been best for Marvonne or those kids.
Be talking to them if we thought that they were up to something,
Of course.
Just nefarious, like nefarious something. No, I would have no part of it. I've been.
Well, is that why we're seeing an exit now and you're kind of silent? And you're trying still to get back in the good graces there, Molly? Something's changed. You know that. We know that. If they were involved in something nefarious, you'd have no part of it. But you still have not told your followers the truth. Okay.
Doing this for 4 years. I've been helping fundraise.
Rhonda, I don't know how you got here, but again, you're really off track. I'm not even considered a YouTuber. So maybe you should go do some research because all you're doing is really making yourself look silly. Okay, have a great day.
For multiple charities. Listen, I don't push.
This isn't a charity. So let's be clear. That's where she's, again, trying to mix people up. This isn't a charity. This was a private individual that came to social media seeking help. And they pushed that. A GoFundMe was created and a Cash App was placed on Letitia's own private profile before Molly ever got involved. Letitia and the admins of the Justice for Vaughn group had been sharing that information all over social media before Molly, Katie, any of the bigger YouTubers that have covered this story got involved. We know that. We've seen it. Molly says she doesn't like GoFundMe because she always gets ripped off. Well,
GoFundMe because I always get burned on GoFundMe. But if the people in the side chat want to drop the GoFundMe link, have at it. But I personally don't like it. I've always been burned. Oh, we need money for this funeral over here. Guess what? Never had funeral. Oh, we need money for the funeral. Oh, guess what? I took the money and went on vacation.
Oh, we need money for an attorney. Oh, an attorney was never retained. Oh, we need money for travel expenses out the wazoo, and only one trip has ever been made. And we're going to send money here, there, and everywhere, but we don't have any clue of where it's gone. But what we're going to tell you that it's going to is not where it's gone, because we're not going to show you any proof because you don't deserve any proof. But yeah, Molly has the audacity to say that she's been burnt and she asked questions. Get the fuck out. Yeah, Sammy, I agree.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Well, there's Miss Letitia. You can say and do whatever to me, but leave my children alone. Yeah, Miss Letitia.
So Letitia pops into the comments and says, you can say or do whatever to me, just leave my children alone. Can anybody give me an example of what has happened to Letitia's children? Specifically, I think she's talking about Rochelle. I made a video asking why they've all ignored Rochelle's voice, trying to empower Rochelle, because Molly made a video basically calling her out. Molly put it in her followers' heads that there potentially was issues and the family was only using them for certain things. Anybody remember that? Anybody watch that? It was up on her page before I started this video. I wonder if it still is. But tell me how that is hurting Rochelle by us making a video saying, why can't the family have a voice? Fucking interesting. Again, Molly's the one that started the questioning of Rochelle. but then takes no accountability of it. And we've seen no proof that anything's been done to the kids. They're all grown adults. Remember, they also partook in what was happening on Reddit. What about Dre's kids? Absolutely.
Just come up here and ask, what, a week ago? Leave my kids out of it.
She came into my comments once and said something about leave her kids alone too. And again, it was just ignored.
They're going after Rochelle. I saw what they were sending to her. Why would you do that?
Again, she says she saw what they were sending her. We've never seen proof of anything that was sent. I think there was one text that was floating around.
Exactly, Nettie. They would never do it in person.
I would ask the same exact questions in person as I'm doing right now. What about Marvonne?
I would never.
Notice the
and to be quite honest with you, I couldn't believe that Andrea had the balls to say, no, we need to call security.
She can't believe that Dre had the balls to say she needed to call security. And how many times did Wynette tell her in this video that Dre was confused? How many times did you hear Wynette tell Molly that Dre was confused? Obviously, there's issues with Letitia. If Dre looked white as a ghost, thought that that was Letitia, and called for security. Does that tell you that they've had this wonderful relationship? Doesn't really paint that picture, does it, when you hear the full story? She didn't even know who she was. She doesn't know these people.
I would have been like, say that again?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was just so excited to get there. The anxiety was kicked in when I pulled in that parking lot.
And when I say she doesn't know these people, what I mean by that, just to clarify, so it's not clipped, she knows these people, but the relationship that they've pushed off is not as it is. They haven't had this warm, loving relationship. Again, we're not discrediting the fact that Marvonne had been trying to reconnect with them again. We know that. But what they've continued to twist is just not the truth.
I was so excited. Because Texas was a long state, and we went through Texas for about 6 hours.
No, you didn't. You went through Texas for about 16 days.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're right.
And it's flat and brown.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there going, Adrian, you got to be kidding me. He's like, yep, still Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely thank you for. Well, the thing is Amanda, why is Justin so quiet? We just want to hear what they want to say, because
he doesn't know which lie they're going to tell. He doesn't know which lie they're going to spin. So why would he interject? He doesn't know which
me and
lie
Justin
to tell.
can sit up here and give our opinions for hours on end.
They do all the time. So what's different in this one? Because they don't know which lie they're going to go with. Hello.
But when do the family members and the people that know and love on get a chance to come out and say?
Katie Joy just put that Mr. Marvonne is incarcerated.
No, he's not. He's at work.
So again, instead of dealing with it, because again, Letitia had brought it out that Marvonne Sr. was incarcerated. These were words that were very intentional by Letitia. That is why the word incarcerated was used. I got that information, and Katie and me actually argued over that, to be honest. And I was like, no, Letitia's wording was incarcerated, because Katie was like, I don't think he's incarcerated. I was like, yes, that's exactly the wording that was used. That came from me saying, but Katie had already found everything else. We knew this wasn't, again, me and Katie working together. We were both getting information that was coming out at the same time. So when Katie made it public that that was being lied about, they, instead of being truthful with their followers, continued to lie to people. And there is a very lengthy history there where some people will not and cannot overlook that, which is totally fine. I'm just saying, as a matter of fact for the story, his record didn't have to get put out there, but they did it. Letitia did it. Letitia's who brought that to social media. She told the admins. Again, the text messages are on Facebook. It's all there. It's a lot.
incarcerated. I'm gonna let my husband talk to her. That's all. It's unbelievable.
I don't know why she does the things that she does. I've left her in God's hands.
And again, we heard her say earlier that it was Dre's followers that were doing all this stuff. And then even Wynette was like, wait, you mean Dre, not Katie? Because the time before it would have been all Katie's fault. And now it's kind of a back and forth. The creators were told this information by Letitia. That's how Marvon Sr.'s record got brought up to begin with. There is no way you can turn anything around about that. It is what it is. But instead of being truthful and just being like, here it is, again, they didn't come to social media asking for anything. These creators started fundraising for the Jacksons after the Jacksons had already seen Marvonne in Arizona. It was backwards to begin with. So truthfully, if Marvon Sr. would have went to Arizona, done his thing, they had help from the family, they stayed at the Fisher house, they did their thing. He gave his interview to local media in, I think it was Tucson, or was it a Yuma reporter? It's a Yuma or a Tucson reporter, probably covers both areas. He did an interview. That interview still has not aired. Letitia declined media coverage. The same lady declined to have an interview with her. And then they started raising funds for legal assistance and travel for the Jacksons after they had already been there. Make this make sense. And then they continue to lie about everything that had been unfolding. It doesn't make sense, guys.
Yeah, God is the only person that can take care of people like that.
Exactly. There's nothing I can do.
God is the only one that can take care of people like that. They always say stuff like that, and it triggers the fuck out of me.
Person like that. I don't know what I feel terrible.
He's incarcerated, but yet he went
That's why he's taking a link on MollyGoLightly's channel. He's got to talk to Justin. He's got to talk to MollyGoLightly. Oh,
he's incarcerated, but yet he went to.
But really, it's not Katie's business, and I no disrespect to anybody. And Justin, when I told Justin about that, I said, my husband said he doesn't care what Katie says about him. And Justin said, well, I do.
And again, it wouldn't have mattered, but it's being lied about. And they make all these big things, instead of coming out and saying, look, he had a pre-existing condition. He made the effort to go to Arizona. He got it all figured out, was never asked. They could have told that and been honest with everybody. It wouldn't have had to go the way they pushed it, but they continued to do it. Thank you, Jose. I know the name of I know the name of the facility. I know how long he's going to be there. I know the charges that he's there for. I know all of this. But again, I have opted not to. We don't have to dive into all of that because the fact of it is they lied and continue to lie about it. That's what put everybody in a bad position. Why do you think Marvon Sr. hasn't came back to social media? Think about this for his well-being. They have continued to hold their hands, pushing. This could all turn out bad.
So much because,
Listen to this comment, and thank you, love my Porsche. I'm a pilot. If I can work magic and can get travel vouchers for the family, I will gladly let y'all know. My heart aches for this beautiful family.
But remember, some of the family members don't like to fly.
I'll make an exception.
You will make an exception? Okay.
Marvonne Jr., yes, I would.
All right. I promise you.
So just so everybody's clear, because this has been a back and forth, that Letitia was offered plane tickets and that potentially Letitia said she didn't fly. No. Letitia has been offered plane tickets, round trip tickets multiple times, has declined them. Wynette is the one that has said she has a fear of flying. But you just heard Wynette say she would make an exception for Marvon Jr. Why haven't they gone back? Many people have offered round trip plane tickets. Why didn't they go back? She said that she needed to save up money. Fundraising had been going on. Where did that money go? Because we know that they didn't hire an attorney. She also said that. Why haven't they gone back?
She's one of my new Patreons. She's lovely. Says, we shall keep Von's name going strong, praying hard and keeping the faith. This community we have here is amazing, and best believe we are making a change thanks to Marissa and Justin. Not only just us.
Interesting who she just read a comment from, and she was such a great person back then. Well, I think she's back in her good.
But all of you that are interested in this story. And what it is a story of abuse and a story of being a victim and
a story of abuse. October is Domestic Violence Month. And she wants to talk about abuse and lie about people that have been asked questions about in her little video that she's doing. I understand why they're continuing to lie about it. Domestic violence isn't something that people look highly at. But stop playing the games, Molly, because you're not doing anything to help anybody look any better in this story.
And a story of a woman on a power trip.
A woman on a power trip. A woman on a power trip. I wonder who that would be, Molly.
It's also a mystery.
And it's also a mystery. Has that been their narrative? I thought she's told us how it happened. Oh, wait. Just wait. I got a clip that's coming out after this from yesterday, again, where she says what basically she thinks happened. How many times have they gone back and forth with the story? How many twists and turns are they going to take?
But we're also seeing that her version of the story of how Marvon and his family, that they didn't care or love each other. No, we're not seeing that. We saw how excited Marvon was that he got to talk to his family. Remember that. And
that's the only clip she can go back to. Has anybody heard her mention any other incidents about Marvon and his family that proves Marvon and his family had such a great relationship and that he wanted to go back to his family, basically? Has anybody heard her talk about that? Why are you playing this? This is pure nonsense. Made the story a bit worse just so they get money for it. Irene, I'm not monetized, and I think you might be lost. Have a good day. People are so freaking weird. So weird. I made the story different.
She was not happy about that. She didn't want to go out. She didn't want him to have any sort of relationship with his family.
She didn't want him to have a relationship with his family, but can anybody answer the question of when did they buy the camper and the truck and what were they intending on doing with the camper and the truck? Can anybody tell me that? Can anybody in the comments answer that? I'll wait for a minute. But she didn't want him to have anything to do with his family, right? But they went and bought a camper and a truck. What was the purpose for that? Has anybody watched the Missing Puzzle Pieces videos? Laura, yep, absolutely. And here's the thing. He still loved them. Like, that's not the point of this. He still loved those people, obviously. But what they've continued to twist and make out of one tiny clip is just not that. When they bought the RV and the truck, they talked about being excited to be able to take the kids and the dogs and travel to visit them in Georgia, to see his great grandma, his mom, all of them. They talked about that. Dre and him. It's on live. You can watch the videos. So you can think whatever you want about her, but the truth is the truth. Marvon was going to go see them. You did see a clip of him having a good conversation and what he thought about it. But there's also clips of him talking about the full picture and more of what had gone on. I really encourage you to listen to what he says about his stepdad. Remember, at this point in time, we don't have any proof that any of the 7 siblings have been there to see him. But the stepdad, oh, wait, one of the boys was with Letitia and the mom. I think it was the youngest, sorry. But out of all these people, Really? And they're going to continue to pass it off that they had this great relationship. His own words.
And it made
were out
her
there.
upset, almost like he was putting his family before her. That's his wife. They have a child together.
Putting his family before his wife. How did she twist that one clip into this? As a family, they bought a truck and a camper so they could take the dogs and the kids as a family to go visit his family. What? Marvonne loved them all. Yeah.
I personally could never talk to or treat my in-laws that way. You know, I'm a human, but I'm also not.
We don't even know if she called them her in-laws. They have told us how many times, both sets of them, Letitia and her husband and Marvon and Wynette, we've heard both of them say they've only met Raza how many times? Oh, Letitia hasn't met him yet. Marvon and Wynette met him one time, right? Marvon Sr. These are his own words, y'all, and their own words. When a child is put up for adoption, things change. He was trying to reconnect with them. He had tried for years. It doesn't mean the relationship was great. In fact, it was everything but that, but he still tried. That speaks about who Marvon is as a person. Nobody else. That man loved with his entire heart. And obviously kept trying over and over and over again. That speaks about his character and what an amazing person he is. Nobody else, in my opinion.
A power hungry, everything hungry. I mean, the girl's hungry. I mean, do you see the shape of her? She's hungry. She's hungry for everything. It truly.
And instead of being intelligent, they go for knocking Dre's looks. Back to knocking Dre's.
Vaughn will wake up. When he does, we will hear his side of the event. So God willing. I mean, just remember, guys, we have to brace ourselves that, you know, God, you know, that he does wake up. We just don't know how. We don't know anything because she won't give us the information. You have to wonder. And this is why we talk about you, Andrea, so much. You won't let us have any information. Do you know?
I go back to, why do you need any information? First of all, Molly, you're nobody to this family. Neither am I. But you'll never see me demand answers of Marvon's health condition or what's going ever. That's not our business. This was a family issue that should have stayed with a family. That's it. Period. You have continued, even yesterday, to lie on this man's life. When you're lying on Dre, you're lying on Marvon. I want you to think about that. Every time you continue to lie about Marvon's life, you're lying about his relationship with his wife and his children. Continually, over and over and over again. You can't separate it. You can't understand that you're trashing Marvon at the very same time when you think you're trashing Dre. It's fucked up and it's disgusting at this point. You do not deserve a fucking thing from this family. None of us do. But you should have enough respect to at least be able to even tell the truth. Can't do that, can you?
How bad that looks on you at the hospitals?
So again, she's saying that it looks bad on Dre because Dre won't give us information, the public. Dre was including her followers with what she wanted them to know. People can choose to be private about some of their lives. Who are we to I'm not going to get on here and tell Michelle, hey, I need to know this, this, and this, and expect her to tell me what? So basically what they're doing to Dre, if anybody has a social media account and brings it to social media, then these clowns have the opportunity to make your story into this exact same one. Basically is what she's saying. Because that's all they did. They took a story that they fabricated and helped make and twist and turn and ran with it.
On you, on the internet, in front of your former fans, in front of the new people, in front of everyone that's covering this, you don't want anyone to know what's going on. That is suspect in itself. If you had nothing to hide, you would not be running.
Why are you running, Molly? If there was nothing suspect, why are you running? And why is Letitia not in your chat? Why aren't you talking to them like you have been? Can you answer that? It's seeming a little suspect to me. Interesting, though.
If you had nothing to hide, you would have kept him, right? Your eyes wouldn't have gotten so big when they found the pulse. I'm just going to say, I was shocked to hear that. But I'm just saying.
The police narrative, they have twisted and taken bits and pieces out of that. Can you imagine? And not only that, live streams that she did and talked about things, they've taken little tiny bits of things that have been said and happened and twisted it into this. All of this seems a little suspect, Molly. You want answers from Dre, but you sure as hell don't want to answer those same questions, do ya?
Andrea, I'm not convicting you of anything because I don't have the power. I wasn't there, but you're not acting like an innocent person.
She's not acting like an innocent person. How would you know this, Molly? How did you know this in August? You kept telling everybody you couldn't find out any information, but yet in this same video, we heard Wynette say again that the very night that they left the hospital, Dre reached out to them and she declined to talk to her. You're
not. And if you think that we're bad people because we want to make sure that those two beautiful little girls and that sweet, precious little boy, Raza, who's so intelligent. I mean, he's a little too intelligent for his age. He's almost got the intelligence of a 13-year-old. I'm just saying.
She really gives a shit about this family, right? Molly, you care about this family so much. Why hasn't one single penny of the money that has been sent to you, Letitia, Wynette, why hasn't any of it helped Marvonne and those kids? How many clickbait videos did you use with their faces? How many lies have you told about them? Didn't you try to involve yourself with the girls' dad even? Oh yeah, that's right. That's all you. You've done all of that. It's all on video. If you don't believe me, go watch it.
But a lot of the things that you have done have been very questionable. Do you think that me and Justin just want to jump on here and go on the attack? No, we just want to know the truth. And when we don't have the truth and we have nothing to back it up, we're going to question the things that we're sent.
Holy shit, what did she just say there? When we have no proof to back up anything you're saying, we are going to continue to question things. Basically what she just said. Hello, Molly. Knock, knock, knock. Anyone home? This is called your own ass asking you questions that you obviously refuse to answer about anything, but you want everybody else to do it. Come on, Molly, you're a hypocrite. Your ass writing checks, your mouth can't cash, or however that goes. Fuck, it's so disgusting. I just can't, like, she says these things, but then we ask questions and wait, what? Sometimes with this one.
And then you got all of these women that worked underneath you, that have met you, the way you've treated them. And guess what? It starts to paint a picture.
It starts to paint a picture. Molly, this is your conscience speaking. I think you're doing self-reflection again. I can't understand how she doesn't get this.
And then when you put this whole puzzle piece together of who really is this Dre McCray, it doesn't look so good. It doesn't.
Nanya, I don't know who you're talking about for sure. She's problematic, but is not and has not been speaking lies on this for months now. I'm not sure who you're talking about. I was trying to read a few comments. None of it makes sense though, does it, you guys? Like, she won't even hear what she's saying. She's asking these things about Dre. But yet, if we ask the same type of questions about Letitia, what's going on with the funds, you know, because people donated large amounts of money. Oh, okay, Jay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I don't think she's covered this in a long time, just so everybody know. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no affiliation there.
Doesn't look good. And do you want to know something? I hope, well, I'm not praying that you're innocent, but if I've said anything that I need to apologize for in the future, absolutely I will. Absolutely.
Huh. So she'll apologize. No charges have been filed on anybody, just so everybody knows. Still no charges. Still no court order, like they said, has been filed for visitation of Marvonne, which never was filed. When are you going to start the apologies? Can you give us a date, a time? We'd love that. So we can all be present, because these apologies are definitely, we're all waiting.
But right now, you just don't look. Your actions speak louder than words. Silence is also an answer. You have to understand.
Wait, who's been silent recently? Can anybody tell me? Silence is also an answer. I'll wait for the comments to answer this one. Who's been really silent recently that wasn't silent and has been, obviously, there's something going on between a certain relationship? So they've all been silent, but it's not suspect that they all of a sudden just tried to switch gears. Molly hasn't been silent. Molly can never be silent, but the rest of them did. Goose. Hey, Goose. I know you're watching. Hey, Bestie. Why are you so silent now? I thought you had all this proof to show us. I'm calling your bluff. How many months do you need to gather this proof? You should have been able to create it by now. It's obvious you're not very tech savvy, but you've had plenty of time. You started honking about this story back way in August. In fact, I have videos of it, August 13th, of you honking about this story and how you're going to prove us all wrong. We're waiting. You guys have had a lot of time to show us all these receipts, and we're going to feel so bad. All that's been shown is that you guys have lied more and more and more, and you guys continue to put intentional drama into this bullshit to cover up your lies. And just so everybody knows, there's 2 Goose accounts from what I've heard. One hangs out on Charlotte on the webs, and one hangs out other places, and people do not know if they're the same, or some assume they don't. I don't have no knowledge of it, but the main Goose is definitely hiding.
But that's how we work around here. We're very passionate people, and we tend to watch everything and consume it all and try to understand it. And no one has been trying to get you fired from paparazzi, except your paparazzi former, I don't know what they call them. What do they call these MLM reps? Reps?
Isn't it interesting that one of Letitia's advocates was a competing paparazzi rep? But Molly's trying to say nobody but those ladies were trying to get her fired. I'm pretty sure Molly did videos on this. And even possibly write emails about paparazzi and things of that nature. I don't know if Goose that's around in Charlotte is the actual Goose. I've heard that the actual Goose has been commenting in a certain person's videos, but I don't have confirmation of all of that. Jennifer could be.
Yeah, they're the ones trying it, not us. Do you think me, would pick up the phone and be like, hey, paparazzi, Jim Cray is not a good person. And she's like, girl, we would never do that. Do you think that we would call CPS? Never. Never.
Do you think that Molly would ever make those phone calls? How many times have we seen her call the police department? But you're going to tell me that she wouldn't call anywhere else? That's pretty interesting.
We would never do that. Miranda.
Uh-oh.
Keep speaking them facts, Molly. She definitely didn't miss a meal. Oh my God. We'll leave that by.
Sorry, I was reading a comment for a minute. It's always like they always go to the looks when they run out of shit to talk about. They always instantly go to what somebody eats, and people are sending money for her to read these type of comments. That just shows the level of immaturity.
Large and in charge.
You said it, not me.
Oh, Kristen says, God bless your entire family. We pray for you and our hearts break for all of you. Yes, this is one of the saddest stories, not only because of the children involved and what's going on with Marvonne, but the attack on Marvonne's family makes it so much worse. And if you
Again, can anybody show me where the attack on the family has been? The only attack I've seen is towards Dre.
are a part of the attack on Rochelle or Miss Letitia or Mr. Marvonne Sr., shame on you.
Can you guys show me where Marvonne Sr. was ever attacked, Rochelle or Letitia? I would love to see this.
Shame on you. These people do not deserve it.
Shame on you. What a shame.
What's wrong with
And Justin finds it appropriate to use his little keyboard, which whatever, but still, where's these attacks happened? And I will be the first to say what happened when Letitia engaged in my comment section, I didn't agree with it all. But she kept coming back and engaging and talking to those people. Again, that wasn't an attack in my opinion. Did it go a little farther than I think it should have or could have? Yes. But she chose to keep engaging with people in the comments and going back and forth. I'm not nobody's babysitter, and I can understand why people were upset with that, but she kept engaging with them. So other than that, I have not seen really any attacks. Granted, there's probably been some pretty nasty messages sent, things like that. That always happens, but they've never showed anything, not a single ounce of proof. And the only person that made people question Rochelle was Molly with Molly's videos.
On Iva, she asked if Devon respond to Mr. and Mrs. Jackson when they got to see him. Yes, his dad asked him to do certain things, and I asked him to do certain things, and he did it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So you got a response just as well. Because at first when
So they're saying that when he was there, he was responding to them. Again, not taking away from what they feel, what they saw. Involuntary movements do happen. A lot of people can misconstrue stuff like that. So we don't really know what they were seeing or what they weren't. Again, that's not something that we need to know or, you know, anything like that. But Molly had ran with the story in the first place that there was no possibility of that ever happening. And now she says this. Listen to what she says.
at first when Andrea was talking about, oh look, oh my baby, look, we didn't believe her.
So what Molly just said is when Dre was saying that he was making improvements or he would move his head, they all thought it was lies. But now that Wynette and Marvon Sr. are saying that, then it's not lies. It's always been a twisted story.
We didn't believe her that he was moving his head or anything like that. And then Miss Letitia and you guys come on, you're like, no, he's responding.
So once the family said that they were seeing similar things, then Dre wasn't lying because the family said so.
You know what? Remember, this guy, Marvon, is a Marine. Okay? He's strong enough to be a Marine. He's going to fight.
Yes, ma'am.
And they have absolutely shown this Marine zero respect whatsoever.
He doesn't want Dre in there. It's terrible. It's terrible. Wynette, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you feel when you saw Andrea take a camera into the room and show off her new dress and say, get a screenshot of me with Vaughn in the background of her new dress?
That's awful. That was awful.
I think by far that was the most. It makes your stomach curl.
That is what makes your stomach. That's the worst thing that's happened throughout this whole thing.
And his dad was asking them why, because she take, after, because my husband never would watch the videos. I would watch them at night or something when we got back to when we were staying. He never would watch them. He just watch them.
I couldn't believe she did that. I was like, what? I honestly, she's acting like someone that is on something. To be cool, I don't know what.
And then she goes into accusing her of being on something, and that's why she's acting like this.
But a normal person would never do that.
A normal person would never do this. But we've all supposed to just be understanding with Letitia.
Yeah, something's not.
Are you going to be okay tonight?
Ma'am?
Are you going to be okay tonight?
Yes, ma'am, I'm fine.
Okay.
I stopped watching. I just watched you and Justin.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of Miss Charlotte Webb. I love her big blue eyes. She's pretty as eyes.
Oh, Charlotte on the web. She's good. You know who else is lovely? Have you seen?
My name so correct, Wynette.
Ah.
Interesting how Wynette just corrected Molly on her name, because Molly, instead of saying Wynette, says Wynette, which I do sometimes too, I think. But Molly just goes right on over it. Right on over it. This part's interesting though.
Have you hung out with Tia Simone?
No, ma'am. I don't watch nobody but you and
Justin. Oh no, you love Tia Simone.
Yeah,
She
and what's Sherelle?
Renelle Smith. Tia Simone. Tia Simone is an extension of Heels on the Ground. She is. One of her besties that comes on Goose is actually part of Heels on the Ground, which is a thing that Justin and I and some others do where we actually go out to the house.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? She was singing Tia's praises on August 10th. She was an amazing, wonderful, encouraging Wynette to go watch her. Huh? How has that changed now? That didn't age well.
The protesting, the blah, blah, blah. But she stays put and she does a lot of research for us. And
Goose! Hey, Goose, let's talk. Since you're her researcher, you want me to give you my info so you stop banging your head against a wall for a minute? You're her researcher. I've also heard somebody else is a researcher of Molly's that might be another creator or involved in this, which we'll get to. There's a lot of crossover in this. There's people that have been messy in other situations that I've known about that are now involved in this. And you guys have some horrible investigators is all I got to say. And Goose, the silence is awfully suspect in Molly's words. Molly thinks when people become really silent, they become suspect. Hey, Goose, she's talking about you. And Tia, that comment with Tia about how, supportive she was and stuff, Tia hasn't changed. What's changed about Tia? She just called Molly out and said, you lied. You obviously don't like that, huh, Molly? Interesting.
Simone, she keeps it classy and she keeps it classy. I'll send you her. You're gonna like her. I know Letitia likes her. She was like, "Oh yeah, I love that one. She's good to watch."
Well, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
She'll roast you, but in a classy way. Renelle will start crying. So she's like,
She's got a big heart.
yeah, she's got a big heart, and she's kind of like a MollyGoLightly in training.
I don't know who Renelle. I do know who she is. Like I've seen her channel, but I've never really watched any of her videos. We talked about this the other night about how Molly will intentionally promote certain channels and say certain things and then send her followers over there, even if the creators don't want that support or want to be tied in. She does stuff like this and sends people out, and they go, you know, sub to all these channels. But then as soon as Molly says, hey, so-and-so did this, then they all attack the creator, unsub, make this big, huge spectacle out of it. So even if they don't, you know, support Molly in the same, she does stuff like this. And anybody that is deemed a MollyGoLightly in training, I'm sorry, but I will be staying the farthest away from ever. Like if we could separate the internet into us and then put them all on an island, that would be wonderful, because anybody, which I don't know if Renelle's got that title or wants that title, but Molly's giving it. So I will be running the opposite direction.
Because I'm always crying. Every time we got a story, I'm like, oh my God. And
Yeah, we know. We've all seen it. She does it all the time. She cries. She fake cries on point. I've posted videos of it showing it.
Charlotte, really, she keeps it cool, calm, collected, facts. And I have to say, she's been good for.
She says, and it finishes in the next part. It opens with it. I should have cut it differently, but she says that Charlotte's been good for the Marvonne story. Let's finish that and then I'll pause it. It's just really odd to me because I didn't know she really covered this story.
You know, the justice for Marvonne ever since the jump. And we're really grateful.
So she's saying that Charlotte has been really good for justice for Vaughn ever from the jump. I thought she was an anti-Katie channel, more focused that direction. So I don't know what she has done for justice for Vaughn, which again, I'm not saying anything against Charlotte. Charlotte, I don't really have an opinion here or there. I thought I was initially going to like her. I don't really have an opinion much further than that, but it's weird to me because Charlotte, in my opinion, from what I saw or heard people say, she didn't really cover it too much in the beginning, if that makes sense. So the fact that she says she's been good for justice for Marvonne makes me think that there's something more going on there that I don't realize, which I'll be looking into.
That we have other creators that are talking.
Oh, wait. Does that include Erica in everybody's inbox? Well, it might.
Talking about
Sheila. Isn't that funny? I thought she did too, right at the beginning. But then it all switched up, didn't it? And I didn't think she covered it much more than that. But I'm going to have to go back and look at some of that because I didn't even remember that she said that in this part of the video or in this video.
Marvonne, you know, 10 to Life did a nice video.
Y'all, I left this in here because remember how I've been saying a lot of these big creators did videos on this and have never came back and corrected any of their misinformation or their like updated their followers on what's really going on. She'll list a bunch of them for us.
For everyone. And Plunger. Paula Plunger did an excellent 2 videos on yes, we have LB, but LB is normally with us. Charlotte on the Web. Yes, that's her name. Charlotte on the Web. Am I get the names mixed up? Yeah, Paula Plunger did a 2 versions, just fact-based.
Just fact-based, which I haven't watched Plunder's videos. Can anybody tell me if it was all factual based that these other videos? I just want to know where they got their facts. That's where I have a question. I have not seen one video yet that has been spot on with the facts from any of these creators. Can anybody direct me in one that has been completely factual based?
Not much opinion with Plunger. Just you get.
Which again, maybe she is very much more like clips and stuff, using content to stuff. But I don't know enough about her to know. This one was a different one that she mentioned. Anybody familiar with Plunder?
The facts, the rundowns. They won't talk about it every day, but they wait.
They won't talk about it every day. They wait. Unlike Molly. Molly will talk about it every day, all day long until the well drives up. That's what she's saying here.
They wait. Justin sending you something to make you smile. Plunger did a nice couple of videos. Yeah, she did. Plunger from back in the day, she's always kept it, really good. There's a lot of good, people that can do the fancy editing and that can control themselves and not, drop the F-bomb like I do in every video.
I'll go check out the Plunder video just so and I encourage anybody else to. Because if it is fact-based, well, if Molly's calling it fact-based, I have a hard time believing that it's worth a watch, because what they've ran with facts are just not the facts. So I have a hard time believing that it's facts. But at the same time, if she was going on the story that was floating around at the time or getting information, what she thought was facts from the family, again, this is what they're being told by family members. So it'll be interesting to see, but I'm going to go watch that, because I wonder if she got her information directly from Molly or Letitia. That's where I'm curious. Oh, it's a female. Did I say female or male? Sorry if I.
All right, Miss Wynette, we appreciate you coming up. Is there anything else you want to tell 2,220 people?
Yes, it's keep Marvonne Jr. in prayer. Keep the family in prayer. Keep me in prayer, and just keep doing what you're doing.
We're trying.
Keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing, over and over and over again.
Believe everything that's here.
Yeah, can we know Von's birthday?
Ma'am?
When's Von's birthday?
Marvonne or Marvonne Jr.?
Yeah.
I think it's in November.
Ooh. Yes, it is in November, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, his birthday is coming up next month, and I would like to figure out something that we could do to help his children, him. If you guys got ideas of something that we could do positive to actually help, I would be open to hearing that. Again, unfortunately, there is no updates on his condition or anything at this time, but if there's a way that we could do something positive, anything, to tell the truth about his life, his story, something positive, I think we should honor that. He is a Marine veteran. It is in November. Yeah. But she didn't even know. That's the thing. She says, I think it's in November.
Oh.
Which I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Wynette. Enjoy your evening, and thank you for jumping on.
I'm so glad I got off work early, so I had some energy to even get on tonight.
Aw.
Yes,
Well,
thank y'all so much for everything.
We appreciate it. We
And
really
everybody
do.
that's watching, thank you so much.
God bless
Thank you
you.
so much.
Nanya, good call. Thank you. I forgot about that. Never mind. Scratch that. I totally, completely disregarded that. Thank you for mentioning that. I would not celebrate his birthday, as that's not how he lived in his beliefs. That's for me. No, 100% respect that. I totally had a fart of the brain right there. So thank you for saying that. No, we will do something another day and just be a kindness day in support of there. Absolutely respect his beliefs. I forgot about that. Thank you though for the reminder. So that's that. That is that clip. That was from August 10th again. But those of you that have been watching with us, how many things have you seen twist and turned in that story? We have heard over and over again that they had such a great relationship. He just wanted to get back to his family. They were making moves as a family. They bought a truck and a camper so they could go as a couple, and the kids and the animals. What they've turned and twisted is just not the narrative that's there. Listen to Wynette's own words. Wynette was not lying about Dre being confused. Molly has continued to spin that. We will be back in a little bit with a clip from yesterday, October 5th or 14th. It's the 15th today, where she brings up this story again and says things. They want us to stop debunking all of their lies. Then they need to be honest with everybody. Because as long as they continue to throw shade at this family and smear this family's names with misinformation and lies, we will be continuing to debunk the BS and continuing to show you their own statements over and over and over again that show you they've lied straight to your faces. With that, I will go back and read the comments after and catch up and everything. You guys, the Tessas will be on tonight for some fun. In about 4 hours, we're coming on. 5 hours. I don't remember what time. I said it for 5 hours, I think is what it is. We're going to come kick it with you. I will be dropping, I called it the Saturday Scary instead of the Friday Fright, but her video from October 14th, it's just a clip, like a 3-minute clip. I'm not going to do anything major with it, but of her bringing up this story again. People keep saying, why are you continuing to talk about this? We will continue to talk about it until they get it right, until they have some respect and will start speaking facts. Then maybe things will back off. Up until then, nah, not happening. You ain't getting us to go anywhere. You can keep digging for my information. Even when you get my information, I'll still sit right here. In fact, you'll do me a favor because then I can take the Band-Aid off my camera. I can pop on. The only one that's going to hurt for me showing my face is you. That's the only one that's going to hurt. And with that, once again, I appreciate you all being here. Holy shit, there's a lot of you here. There's 147 of you here. Are y'all okay out there? Y'all are amazing. I didn't even know there's, I don't pay attention to this shit ever. So I just go on my little thing, hit the button. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate you guys all so much. If you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up on that way out. I hate even saying that. That's really hard for me to say. There's posts on YouTube and on Facebook. If you have a question for the Tessas, you can write it to a single Tessa, all three of us. Whichever, we might have a few special guests popping in with us tonight. It's just going to be fun checking in with the Tessas. You guys will probably get to learn a lot more about them, which they're hysterical. So with that said, I appreciate you guys all tuning in once again. We're just going to get back on track of debunking their shit. You guys are going to, once again, I'm like a broken record that just keeps spinning and then has some like, that's, I'm good at sound effects, y'all. I don't even need a board. I'm just joking. Okay, y'all. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all very much. With that, Contessa, over and out.